Know about new and used cars.
Control.
Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air.
Control.
Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin.
Cruise control.
Because you're on cruise control. Cruise control. Cruise control.
Hello there. Welcome to Cruise Control. You're on. This is you're on the on-air automotive magazine. I am Les Jackson. The guy laughing
is me.
Is our noble co-host Fred Staub.
Yeah, we had little technical difficulties getting on this morning, but we're here, Les, and we made it, didn't we?
We always get over the finish line. Sometimes we're pushing the car.
Yeah,
but we're here.
But we're here. So let's get going. We got a big story to start with. Ford reorganizes and splits the company into two teams, E and Blue. We'll explain what that means. It's a big change for the Blue Oval guys, isn't it?
It is a big change, and I can see all kinds of things happening, and we'll talk about them. Anyway, BMW wants to put an iX or an i4 in your driveway virtually, which, by the way, what good is driving a car virtually?
Well, maybe if you don't have to go to the dealer, you could look at it in your, from your driveway. Who knows? Well, we'll talk about that. Here's another big story, Les. Honda is teaming up with Sony to develop electric cars. Remember, Sony showed a less than impressive electric car. Looked like it was from 10 years ago at the CES show. So we'll see what's going on.
That's right.
Remember
the Google car?
The Google, Mr. Beep. Yeah, I remember that. So
anyway, one state wants to ban over-the-air vehicle updates. Now, I find that rather sinister.
Yeah, it seems like that's a little bit behind the times. We'll tell you what state that is and why they want to do it. And then Mini's got plug-in plans for the most powerful vehicle they ever made. This thing is going to be even more powerful than the John Cooper Works. You wonder how they're going to put all that power into that little body, right?
Well, I'm thinking of these enormous drive wheels that are sticking out about a foot from the side of the car. But
it's the super go-kart. Yeah, so all that and more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control. That's the show you're listening to. Check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com or like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, the YouTube page, and more. It's all there. The big story, Les, that we will get into after the break is Ford reorganizing. There was some talk last week that Jim Farley, the CEO, said, we're not going to split up Ford or whatever, but they didn't physically split it up, but they split up the duties. We'll tell you what that means for future Ford product. And they've got some hot product right now, both electric and internal combustion. So we'll talk about that and more on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Stay tuned.
Yep. Ford.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staub and Les Jackson with you here for a full hour of great automotive information. And there's big changes going on there, Les Jackson. Big changes at the Blue Oval. It is changes that will really affect the way they do business going forward. And, we talked about this last week. Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, was asked, would you ever split up Ford? And I think they met into two separate companies. And he said, no, we never do that. But this week he announced that he would split it up into two divisions. Now,
kind of like Lincoln,
well, okay.
I mean, or Mercury. I mean, that's
sort
it's
of
a division. Yeah.
My take on this is it's more business. It's business teams.
Yeah.
And what do they call them? Silos. We want to, so anyway. Yeah. Let's give you the overview here. The Ford Model E division, and this is a graphic right from Ford, so it was written by some PR person, will delight customers with truly incredible electric vehicles and services and build the future as Ford's center of innovation and growth. Well, there you go.
Thank you. That was the best cut and pasting I've heard in a long
time. And so then there's the other division, which is the Blue division, and that will inspire customers to pursue their dreams and passions in life with iconic Ford vehicles and experiences and serve as the engine that supports Ford's future growth.
Okay.
Now, I don't know whether those are mission statements or...
I think so.
Yeah, but basically it means there's going to be a group concentrating on electric vehicles, and the other group will concentrate on the very important vehicles like F-150, Bronco, Maverick, anything that's powered by an internal combustion engine. And believe you me, Ford has got some hits in both of those divisions. And really, it's the first time that I know of that Ford has had people really demanding vehicles and waiting in line for them, right?
Well, that's right. Now, how do you think the people at Ford are going to be split up, or are they?
Well, I think they are. Leadership, Doug Field will lead Ford Models E product collection, while Kumar Galora will, as we know, he's been on the show several times speaking of Lincoln. Right. He used to run Lincoln. Will serve as president of Ford Blue. And he said Ford Blue's mission is extremely ambitious. We're going to invest in our incredible F-Series franchise, unleash the full potential of hits like Bronco and Maverick, and launch new vehicles like the Global Ranger. That's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty cool. It's okay. I was thinking of how, if you remember, the Ringling Brothers Circus for many years had two trains. They divided themselves in two. They had two trains running across the country, the red train and the blue train.
So you're saying it's sort of like a circus.
Well, no, I am not, although the temptation to make a wisecrack is there, I am not saying that. I'm saying that they'll have two separate divisions, but they'll ultimately share technology and research and talent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good management approach, because while you're developing these new e-vehicles, you cannot let things like the F-150 fade away, and not that that's far from the case at Ford. Matter of fact, they have a number of hits. The Bronco, the Maverick, the, of course, F-150 and all its variants, the Ranger.
Lightning.
You know, they have a lot of internal combustion hits right now, and I think it's just sort of a management way of dealing with, hey, we have to create all new products while selling and developing our current products. So it's not a bad way to go. And they'll have two teams, and it means that, work will get done faster, I would imagine. And we're probably going to see some great new Ford products. So, hey, stay tuned. Stay tuned to Cruise Control, because we're going to be right back. When we come back, we're going to tell you about BMW's idea for a virtual driveway. So stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And yes, this is Cruise Control. I'm Les. He's Fred. We have a story about BMW. That's BMW in North America, of course. They're debuting. Is that really a legitimate word?
Yeah, sure. It's not like the one word. There's two words I know that get you annoyed.
Don't.
Okay, I'm going to say
push me.
A bespoke deplaning. And those are the two words that really irritate you, right?
Yes, and you succeeded. Congratulations. So anyway, they're unveiling a unique digital experience, bringing a virtual test drive to your driveway.
Yeah.
Which I'm not terribly sure that's a great advantage. But
well,
I'm willing to look at it.
Well, here's the thing. I can draw a parallel to this. What they're doing is augmented reality. So it's like, what would this car look like in my driveway or in my garage? And so it uses pictures of your house or your driveway, and then it puts one of these vehicles in your driveway. I guess to see how it would look. I never really thought about how one of these vehicles. I never worried how it would look in the driveway.
It's not a suit.
No,
It's a car.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably looked nice in the driveway.
Well, and that's the whole point. In sales, that's called the puppy dog close. You send the puppy dog home with the person and they fall in love with it. Well, this works too.
Yeah. Well,
and there's one thing that I'll give them credit here. There's one thing that's very useful about this.
Okay.
And that is, you think you've settled on a color for your car.
Oh, that's a good point.
But it shows up in that color and you realize, it's not exactly what I imagined it to look like. Let me look at another color.
You mean during the day, at night, or whatever?
Right. Well, plus, that shade of red may not, in sunlight in the driveway, virtually, it may not just be that appealing to you.
Let's talk about this a little bit more, because they're using Google Cloud's immersive AR technology, and I've seen this recently in a Genesis vehicle where they had a graphic of the car that was shown over live video of what you were seeing out of the cameras around the car. So it was this graphical representation of the vehicle you were in the color that it was, sitting in the parking lot, let's say, where you had to park. These are two really nice looking cars, though. The iX and the i4. They're cars. They are all electric cars. They have great stances.
They're cars.
Yeah. One is, I know it's a crossover, but it almost could be a station wagon, Les Jackson. It almost could.
It could be.
These are sports activity vehicles. The i4 Grand Coupe, which is a four-door. I'll never get that. Why they call them a Grand Coupe. It's a four-door sedan. Apparently sedan is now a bad word. And then the iX Sport Activities vehicles. These are fully electric vehicles, output up to 536 horsepower from dual electric motors. And the i4 M50 can launch from 0 to 60 in just 3.7 seconds with a range of 270 miles. And then they have one, the rear drive i4 eDrive 40. These names are terrible. Features a single 335 horsepower electric motor, 0 to 60 in 5.5, with a range of 301 miles. And then, if you want more, there is a iX xDrive 50, and that produces 516 horsepower and allows the all-wheel drive iX to accelerate from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds and achieve a range of 324. So these are nice vehicles. I mean, the story is about the virtual driveway, but still, these things are great vehicles. Now, the base price for the i4 eDrive 40.
Here comes the bad news.
Okay. The base price for the i4 eDrive 40 is $55,400, while the i4 M50 starts at $65,900 plus a $995 destination. The iX Drive 50 starts at $83,200 plus a $995 destination and handling charge. $83,200.
Not Not a bargain,
No.
but it's a lot of car.
It is. It is. I'm sure. I'm sure the experience is great with this. But I think what we're talking about here is just a different way of buying too. People really don't want to go to those dealers. They don't want to spend hours and hours on end with them. They'd rather just do it, virtually. And I think this is just another way that they're using technology, which in this case is Google Cloud's immersive AR technology, to make it happen. And I think we're going to see more of these things coming up in the future. Don't you agree?
I would agree. I think all the companies are doing or will be doing things this way. Will you be able to actually close the deal and sign all the papers? And
some allow you to do it completely electronically. So it's just going to get more and more that way, where people are just not. They just don't want to go and sit somewhere. They want to buy a car at 4 a.m. They don't want to do
That's
it.
true.
Spend their whole Saturday sitting there, getting worked over. So I think this is what we will see, and we'll see more of it. And great looking vehicles from the folks over at BMW. We look forward to checking them out when they are available, because it's interesting technology, even if they do call the sedan a Grand Coupe, Les Jackson.
Yes.
So, hey, coming up, we've got a lot of stories coming up here. We're going to talk about Honda teaming up with Sony to build electric cars. As I mentioned during the open, Sony showed what I thought looked like an outdated electric car at the CES show. I'm sure Honda can up the game when they get in the mix there. And then we'll tell you about this. We've talked a lot about this on Cruise Control. Over-the-air updates for your cars. It's basically like your computer gets a Windows update, but one state wants to ban those. We'll tell you why that is. I want to ban.
Yeah.
I want to ban fuel injection and go back to carburetors.
That's right.
That's what I want to do. And bias ply tires. That's what I want. And then Mini's got plug-in plans. This will be the most powerful vehicle Mini has ever made, and that includes even more powerful than some of the John Cooper Works versions. So that's exciting. All that power in a wheelbase that is what about 5 feet. Maybe?
I think it's actually, well, no, the car is 8 feet, so it's probably 6 feet.
So that will be interesting and fun for sure. So, that's what we have coming up, and plenty more. We're also going to tell you about the folks over at Dodge kind of teasing the sound of their future vehicles, which they say is shocking. So,
yeah,
my take on it is growling electricity, sort of like when you hear arcing electricity. That's what I think the sound would be. I don't know. We'll have to see. But all that and more coming up on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. He is none other than Les Jackson. We will be right back. Stay tuned to Cruise Control. Check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. We're just watching everything on the roads these days, but over at Honda, they've teamed up with Sony to develop electric cars. Now, Honda, yeah, that's right. Honda has, of course, made hybrids for
long time,
25 years.
Yeah, long time, and they, I would say, would be number 2 in the hybrid world compared to.
Yeah.
Well, you think they had the insight, so they were kind of before Toyota on it, but I think Toyota took the lead on hybrids.
They did, not because the technology was better, but because the Prius looked different. It looked like a different kind of car.
Yeah.
Honda stayed with standard look, which I personally prefer.
Right.
But people embraced the different look.
Yeah, you're right. Honda Civic hybrid, when it came out, looked like a Honda Civic, a little bit different here and there, maybe different wheels, but mostly like a Honda Civic. Yeah. Well, Honda is going to develop electric cars with Sony. They have a memorandum of understanding to work together in creating a new era of mobility and mobility services. And it could give Honda a major boost in the world of EVs, of course, because Sony can make this happen as far as technology go. It does have, of course, a Accord hybrid, which is a great vehicle. The CRV hybrid, have not driven that one, but I have driven the Accord hybrid. And I think this is what they know. Sony has revealed what their SUV called the Vision S02. To me, that looked very outdated compared to like it had been sitting around a little bit and had been brought out. At this point, it's just a memorandum of understanding, but certainly having Sony as a partner is only going to help Honda. And we talked earlier about what Ford's doing the E division and the Blue division. This is kind of the same for Honda, although they're out with Sony as a kind of their external E vision. I mean, let's face it, Sony has no experience in building bodies and safety testing and what's the best supplier for car seats. So why should they have to reinvent the wheel? While they do have great development with electronics and all of the things that would go into an electric vehicle that could be adapted from what they build, all kinds of electronics. So,
and I know that they'll solve the long-standing Bluetooth problem with Honda vehicles.
That's true.
It's just strange.
That's true. You and I have said this for some reason, and it seems it just doesn't make sense. Japanese vehicles have more trouble with infotainment system, things like connecting up your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay or your Bluetooth, than domestic models or German models, and German or European models, I should say. I find this all the time.
Don't know why. The
infotainment systems in domestic vehicles are great. You know, they just work easily. You don't even have to think about them. But I've had Toyotas and Hondas where I just could not connect to it no matter what I did. But meanwhile, all the other cars, it just kind of falls in place. So I don't know why that is, Les, but maybe this
I don't either.
alliance between Honda and Sony will solve that. And if it does, that's good. But I definitely think they're going to play to their strong points. Like I said, Sony has no interest in hiring auto designers, and Honda has some great ones. So it should work out well. So we'll keep you up to date.
I think it will. And I predict, and I'm sure you'll agree, that if they stay together, that we're going to see an awful lot of Hondas placed in Sony movie productions.
I would agree. I would certainly agree. Yeah. So That's another plus. Instant marketing. I didn't think about that, but
Yep.
that's true. A good point. Good point. Well, let's talk a little bit about the state that wants to ban over-the-air updates. Now, over-the-air updates, Les, are something. It's something we're going to see in vehicles. It's just gonna become like a standard thing. It's just like your computer, right? Updates.
Exactly.
We were both updating our computers, weren't we? And
Let's not get into that this week for me. It's been a I was ready to shoot it.
but it seems like this one state, which is West Virginia, wants to ban over-the-air updates because dealers say it's taking business away from them.
Oh, come on.
That's pretty bad, right?
Come on. Dealers were able to influence the state legislature that much? That's ridiculous.
Well, I think that the bill has not passed yet, but I think that they have a powerful lobby, and it's known as the West Virginia House Bill HB 4560. Seeks to expand dealers' stranglehold over the new vehicle market by blocking over-the-air software updates. Maybe they're the same dealers. Like you'll bring it up for an over-the-air update, and they'll put it up on the lift and say, "Oh, you need $3,000 worth of work, and I'm not putting it down on the ground until you pay for it." Right?
That happens. It sure happens. I may take a trip to the West Virginia legislature.
Now, this has not passed. It's just you can basically, put any bill out there you want, but certainly the
That's
dealers are driving this. And I think it's not only hard for consumers, but as this article in CarBuzz put it, what if there's a safety update that you need to get right away? Let's say something that your car stalls on the highway or whatever, but we can send you this update overnight and it's all fixed. But now, instead, they want you to go to a dealer and they'll say, well, I don't have any appointments for the next 2 weeks. That's a real issue. You cannot stop technology. You can't go back and say, I don't want anti-lock brakes. They don't work. Or I don't believe in this automatic braking stuff. I don't want to do it. And this is what this bill is trying to do. It's not like this is the way it is. This is the way things update, and cars are computers. So you can't stop this.
In West Virginia, you're never more than 2 to 3 hours from the border of all the neighboring states. So if they pass something like this, then I think most people would just drive to Virginia or Maryland or across the Kentucky border.
I don't know. Do car manufacturers have? You're right.
No.
You could geofence it where you could say, like, if your car's in West Virginia, but what if I'm from New York and my car's in West Virginia and an important update comes out? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how you do it. Do car manufacturers don't know where cars are registered, do they?
No. I don't think that they could create a system that would prevent the signals from reaching the cars.
No, I don't think they could either. But it's kind of a crazy story, and I think it's one that we will follow. I don't know if that will ever be passed, and it really just seems bizarre to me that that dealers think that they have to bring it in for everything like that. It's not like you're replacing a physical piece on the car for warranty or something like that. That's different. So we'll keep you up to date on that at Cruise Control. Let's talk about this. The next Mini Countryman. The Countryman is their sort of little SUV or CUV, which is getting a complete redo. But when it gets redone, it could have a rumored output of 322 horsepower. This is according to Autocar, which is a European magazine, not the Autocar truck manufacturer that hasn't been around for a while. And this is the plug-in hybrid Countryman. It will be the most powerful car the brand has ever produced, 322 horsepower. The current one has 221 horsepower, which is certainly not bad even for a Mini currently. So interesting. We don't know when this will be coming out, but certainly it will be a powerful Mini. Hey, when we come back, we've got plenty more to go, and we're going to tell you about the sound Dodge has for future performance.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Big things going on in the automotive industry, Les.
Oh, yeah.
And we told you about what was happening at Ford. We told you what's happening between Honda and Sony. And then, of course, there's Stellantis. They kind of been talking up their electric future. They showed off another kind of teaser for the new Ram, which looks like a great vehicle, which is going to be a great vehicle. But one of the things, of course, and I guess Dodge has been known nowadays the brand of muscle. By the way, I was in my local park. This was bizarre, and I was shooting some video of a press vehicle off in the corner at where I go, so I don't annoy anyone. And along comes 4 Dodge brand vehicles, Hellcat Charger, Hellcat Challenger, a couple of others. They line up like they're in a staging lane, and then they go right to the center of the parking lot and start doing donuts. Tires smoking, chunks of rubber flying out, and then one would finish, then would just drive around and get back in line again. It was like an organized event. But I thought, wow, you're doing wonders for that vehicle, aren't you?
Oh, listen, these guys are surely in the brain trust. And, you know, there's a Nobel Prize waiting somewhere.
I thought
this is stupid. That's why they actually, and of course, if the police ever caught them, that's classified as reckless driving. But I mean, what a dumb thing to do. What are they gonna do if they flatten 2 or 3 of their tires?
Yeah, or blow out the universal joints or something like that.
Even better.
So, but anyway, let's talk about Dodge's future. EV promise. You know, we had some of the folks on from Dodge and said, well, you know, you have all these great vehicles. They're going to transition to electric. But what will they sound like? And so Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares says this year they will debut in concept form a new Dodge performance car that could replace the Charger and the Challenger, and it will have a shocking sound. He said, we have created a sound that you cannot imagine. And the sound will be louder and more powerful in function of the way you are using the car. Those are his words. So what do you make of that? What do you think the sound will be?
Well, I would assume it'll be some sort of crackly, high-pitched exhaust, open exhaust sound.
And I'm sure they've done studies of what people like about the current sound of the Hellcat. It's the scream of the supercharger. It's the deep sound that comes from deep within the engines. It will be interesting to see what they come up with. Of course, if they don't like it, they can always change it, can't they?
Well, true. I really I would prefer to hear the old Roadrunner beep beep. That was a cool sound.
I sort of like the sound of a turbine, even though it makes no sense, but it always, I thought, well, that's what cars will sound like in the future. Thing is, do you think they make these sounds that will stay inside the car, or will they be putting speakers outside the car so everyone hears?
Well, they're getting, the states are pushing back real hard on loud exhausts. So I think it's going to be more inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right too. I mean, it really doesn't have to be outside because, you know, unless you're standing on the side of the road and it passes and you say, wow, that's cool. Really, it will be on the inside. And
hopefully you have a volume control on the inside.
Well, look, Ford Mach-E does. I mean, they have a silent mode, and then they have the unbridled sound. I didn't find them to be too massively different, and they were not like overwhelming. I think you do need a sound in an electric car because it's sort of like that's how some people drive. It's a feedback mechanism. It would be like
That's
having
true.
a steering wheel with no feedback. You wouldn't be able to know where you were on the road.
Um, I was part of a practical joke this past week.
Uh-oh.
This has nothing to do with Dodges, but a friend of mine's next door neighbor that they sort of get along bought a new
Sorta get along.
SUV, and we opened it up and took the little jack that you get with it
Right.
out and put an old style bumper jack in it. As hoping that he would be dumb enough to try jack it up, but of course he wasn't. But it just was, such an anachronistic joke.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
He didn't. By the way, he didn't appreciate it.
no, he's like, "Where's my jack? Bring it back."
Yeah. Yeah.
This car, I paid $20,000 over MSRP. It's not funny. That jack cost me $2,500.
Good point.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Well, you think about this too. With the average price of cars going up, does that increase the penalties for stealing it? Is that what is is that grand larceny? If cars are now going to be $85,000 to $150,000, right? We just talked about the one BMW. The price on it is $85,000. Who knows what it will sell for? Probably more. I mean, you're talking some serious money here now. It's no longer, well, hey, it's my $3,000 beater or my even my $15,000 car. It's my, $125,000 electro SUV.
I think you're right. I think that the incentive to steal these things is going to be far greater.
Yeah, interesting. This was a cool story that came out this week about SEMA. They got the bill passed for low volume manufacturers. Means that the manufacturers can build up to, I believe it's 375 cars a year. And this helps people building, like, they can sell them as a finished car. So they can build a full Cobra replica. You can get a street rod or whatever low numbers car. I think that's an interesting idea. It kind of harkens back to the old days when you would buy a chassis and go out and find a coach builder, right?
Well, that's right. So it's 375 vehicles a year you can build.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember when it was about 100.
Yeah. 375, you think about it. And this is what probably will, like when DeLorean starts building their electric car.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. They're not going to sell more than 375 a year.
No.
And this will be perfect for. I think it's a good idea. We thank the folks over at SEMA and NHTSA. SEMA and NHTSA got together to implement this rule, and I think it will lead to some interesting vehicles we can talk about on Cruise Control.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good deal. So that's a good way to end this hour of Cruise Control. Don't forget to check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check out the YouTube page, all kinds of stuff there. CruiseControlRadio.com is the gateway to get to it all. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We're going to see you down the road.
Bye. Whoops.